Hey everyone, it's JC, the Gospel Centered Health Coach. I am here today with a project for you. Now, if you're super busy, and I get that, because I am too, it doesn't have to be a project. It can just be something to chew on, something to think about. But if you want to go deeper, here is my invitation for the next couple of weeks of something that you could explore personally, mentally, pray about, journal about. And I've talked about this in some other videos, but we're going to go in deep today. I'm going to give you some book recommendations, some video recommendations. I have been thinking a lot about the subject of the lies that we believe. Now, again, talked about that, but you hear the adversary, Satan, in the scriptures called a liar, that he lies to us, he beguiles us, he tries to deceive us. Now, here's the thing. Most of us, if I asked you, how has he been deceiving you? What lies has he been telling you? Could you make a list? Could you come up with a list of the specific lies that have worked on you or in the past have worked on you? Maybe you're starting to see them now. I've been doing that on my phone. I got this new book, The Lies We Believe, for another thing I'm working on. It's by Chris Thurman. I'll link it below. And it's just dead on with different chapter. Here's a lie, here's a lie, here's a lie. These are the lies that work incredibly well on us as humans. Then I pulled this out of my bookshelf that I've had forever, Lies Women Believe by Nancy Lee DeMoss. Then I pulled out this book, I Deserve a Donut, and Other Lies That Make You Eat, about the lies that we believe. I'll have these all linked below. And then I pulled this book out of my bookshelf that I have had for probably 10 years. It's an older book. You Are Not What You Weigh. And one whole chapter is called The Image of the Lie that we believe. So it's out there, the idea that we have been lied to. But here's the thing. A lot of times the whole success of a lie from the adversary is the fact that you don't realize that he's telling you a lie. You really have been duped, have been deceived. If we saw it, it wouldn't be effective. He wouldn't even use it. The fact that we may not even be aware that we're believing lies, and many of them, is the whole success of his program. I do a whole video on this with body image with the movie Tangled, and I'll link that below, about how Rapunzel was lied to, and that's the whole reason that whole story worked. Whole reason she stayed in the tower, and how that applies to us with body image. So anyway, this has been on my mind this week. And so I started making a list. And guys, I really haven't put a ton of time into it yet. And I already have probably 15 lies personally that have been very real for me and that I have lived under for many, many years. I started to group them into categories like the body image lie. Body image lies, there were so many. There were just so many. Thinness, it equals value. Thinness equals attractiveness. The number on the scale defines me. Lies like that. Oh man, did I believe those as a foundational principle in getting on the scale every morning, what I believed about myself, how the day went based on where I sat on that scale. Oh, those lies felt so good to let go of. All men want this certain look, skinny model look. I married a man that likes curves, that proved that lie wrong. There's so many. Okay, so body image can be one area. Food I started to go into. My core lie, and I've said this in other videos, the core one living deep down inside of me was food is one of the best ways to comfort my soul. But that lie could actually apply to other escapes and guilty little pleasures, chick flicks, or whatever I ran to, shopping on Amazon or whatever is the best way to comfort me. I had a lot of things that fit that category. Another food lie, it's too hard. I can't do it. I've tried too many times. Another food lie, I deserve this. I deserve this chocolate. Do you see how this can just, there's no way to list all of them. Oh, see my list? I had them on my phone, but then I had to print them because I'm using my phone to record this. I'm just throwing these at you really fast. I'm sorry. I hope this isn't overwhelming. Lies in my relationships, that my husband is responsible for my happiness. And he has to meet my needs, and I need to call him to repentance when he's not doing that. Now, that's a complicated one, but when I let go of that and just made God responsible for my happiness and my needs, and my husband just as a blessed relationship to enjoy, everything changed. My children's decisions are my responsibility and I have to fix them. And that's a whole, do you see how these lies, if he can spin some things, he can keep us in misery. Obsessive thinking, spiraling toxic thinking. If these lies are the core principles that we're operating out of, I'm responsible for keeping everyone happy. Made me a people pleaser. I've talked about that on my podcast. Spiritual lies. I have to earn God's love through my performance. He only loves me if I obey. If I disobey or have a bad day, he's disappointed. He's going to abandon me. He's going to forsake me. He doesn't love me. Or how could he possibly know me? There's so many of us on this planet. How could... Satan knows which lies will pinpoint deep into your brain and resonate with you, and perhaps even become part of the fabric of your belief system. So here's my challenge for you this week. Like I said, I'll put all the books I was throwing at you below if you want to go deeper in this. I have an emotional eating class and a mental beliefs online class that both go into the lies we believe and how to dismantle them. I'll just put all kinds of options below, but if you want to even just spend some time, I would invite you. You can start with whatever category you want. If food is your struggle the most right now, maybe look at those lies. If body image is your struggle the most right now, start making a list. Here's the biggest and maybe most important thing. If you're not quite sure what they are, the key for me in beginning to understand how much I was operating under a system of lies was prayer. Prayer, because I needed the Lord to open my eyes because I'd been deceived. I did not know that I'd been lied to. I didn't realize I was living under the cultural lies that had just filtered into my brain. And so I needed through prayer to have him start to shine the light and go, JC, that's a lie. JC, that's a lie. You don't have to believe these things. And I think we'll talk in our next video of how to begin to unravel them, how to begin to reframe and see these things differently, especially if it's been a core lie that you have believed for decades. And Rapunzel shows a cute way to break that down if you want to watch that video below. She shows exactly how to get out from under that lie. So you could watch that. But maybe spend some time this week, the next couple of weeks. I know you may be super busy, but you can ponder that when you're driving in the car or doing your dishes or whatever. Just quietly ask the Lord, what are the lies that I believe? Because these form the root of our addictions, the things that we feel like we can just never get over. It's because deep in our belief system, we're believing lies. And as long as those continue to live there, we'll never make any progress because those lies will hold the power over our mind and our heart and our decisions. And let's not give the adversary that kind of power anymore. So again, that's my invitation for the week. Make your own list. And I'm guessing it'll be about as long as mine is. Maybe you're way better at seeing this in your life than I've been. But there's a lot of ways that the adversary has been successful in our lives. And I think it's time for us to slowly rip off that mask to be able to see underneath the surface of what's going on and be more successful in letting the Lord set us free in these areas. More resources below. Check out the description box and that'll have some things to help you out. But give it a shot and then we'll talk more about this in the next video.